Welcome to Cathedral. I'm Father Greg Sackwitz. Special thanks once again to Mark Teresi and David Jonas. David and Mark, I can't thank you for now 4.5 years. Beautiful music to begin and close the spiritual video. Special thanks again to Lori Doyle, the biggest Philadelphia Eagles fan in the world you will ever find. Lori, thank you for the great work you do pulling the whole spiritual video together. So, Lori, thank you. We're celebrating this weekend the 30th Sunday in Ordinary Time. It's hard to believe that this is the last weekend in October. We have coming up All Hallows Eve, Halloween, All Saints Day, All Souls Day. The time is flying. I'll begin this way. A little 10-year-old boy, Joey, is digging a hole in the backyard. The old man next door comes over and says, Joey, what are you doing? And Joey says, well, my goldfish died and I'm burying it. The old man says, oh, my deepest sympathy, Joey, but why is the hole so big? Joey says, because my dead goldfish is inside your dead cat. No, I don't mean to offend any cat lovers. I raise birds, so I love nature. But that joke is really very funny. Begin this way. God decided to become visible to a king and a peasant, who sent an angel to inform them of the blessed event. O king, the angel announced, God has decided that he will reveal himself to you in whatever manner you wish. In what form do you wish God to appear to you? Seated pompously on his throne, the king royally proclaimed, I wish to see God in majesty and power. Show me God in the full glory of God's power. God granted the king his wish and appeared as a bolt of lightning that instantly destroyed the king and his entire court. Nothing, not even a cinder, remained. The angel then manifested herself to a simple peasant woman, saying, God has decided that he will reveal himself to you in whatever manner you wish desired. How do you wish to see God? Scratching her head and puzzling a long while, the woman humbly said, I'm a poor person. I'm not worthy to see God face to face. But if it's God's will to reveal to me, let it be in those things that I'm very familiar with. Let me see God in the earth I plow, the water I drink, the food I eat. Let me see the presence of God in the faces of my family, friends, neighbors, and the poor. And if it deems God for himself to others, even in my own reflection as well. God granted the woman her wish, and she lived a very long and happy life. St. Ignatius of Loyola once said, we must see God in all things. I like that. We must see God in all things. Jesus asks the blind man in today's gospel, what do you want me to do for you? The blind man responds, I want to see. I want to see. Jesus asks all of us today, what do you want me to do for you? What would our response be? On one level, Jesus cures the blind man physically, but beyond restoring physical sight, I want to see really means seeing with eyes of faith. Really means seeing with eyes of faith. Let me give you an example. Many times someone comes up to you and says, can I talk with you? Anytime someone says to you, can I talk with you? What they're really saying is, will you listen to me? If I were to say, Lori, can I talk with you? What I'm really saying is, will you listen to me? We do it all the time. And also, if we know it or not, there's 3 ways of seeing. The first way of seeing is with physical eyesight for those that are not blind. I can see the chapel here, I see the camera, I see a beautiful Blessed Mother, I see Lori, I see the pews here. First way of seeing, physical with eyes of faith, or through eyesight, physical eyesight. The second way of seeing, the eye of the mind. The first way of seeing, physical sight. The second way of seeing is the eye of the mind. That's where we have like an aha moment. It means seeing through scientific ways, seeing through insight, seeing mathematical equations. So the eye of the mind. But the third way of seeing is by far the most important, the eye of the soul. The eye of the soul, which means to see through eyes of faith, which means to trust God that's right in front of us. There are three ways of seeing: physical eyesight, the eye of the mind, the eyes of the soul, with eyes of faith. Many times we are blind, not physically, but blind to God's love, forgiveness, His voice, compassion, mercy, and His presence in our lives and our world because of maybe a poor self-image. Too often our self-concept is poor, or we're so busy doing, we forget about being. Listen to this short dialogue. Why is everyone here so happy except me? Because they have learned to see goodness and beauty everywhere, said the Master. Why don't I see goodness and beauty everywhere? The Master said, because you cannot see outside of you what you fail to see inside. Because you cannot see outside of you what you fail to see inside. What blindness do I need to be healed of? What keeps me from fully loving myself and others? You know it or not, we all have our weaknesses. We all have our blind spots. We all need healing of some part of our lives. How many times have we driven a car and get caught in that blind spot? That place you're about to change lanes and don't see the car next to you. The car in the next lane is in your blind spot. It happens to us all the time. Maybe our blind spot is a poor self-image, or believing God doesn't love me because I don't love or like myself. Maybe I'm too proud to admit weakness or to get help. Is that my blind spot? Jesus asks us, what do you want me to do for you? The Lord asks each one of us today, what do you want me to do for you? I want to see. See what? Hope looks for the good in people instead of harping on the worst. Hope opens doors where despair closes them. Hope discovers what can be done instead of grumbling about what cannot be done. Hope draws its power from a deep trust in God and the basic goodness of all human nature, despite the pain, tragedies, and sufferings in this world. Hope regards problems, small or large, as opportunities. Hope sets big goals and is not frustrated by repeated difficulties or setbacks. Hope pushes ahead. It would be so easy to quit. Hope puts up with modest gains, realizing the longest journey begins with the first step. Hope accepts misunderstandings as a price for serving the greater good of others. People are mirrors. When they are in the presence of hope, goodness, and love, that's what they reflect. When love, peace, happiness are absent, when we are blind, unable to live life through the eyes of faith, we have nothing to give out. Of what use is it to have eyes if the heart is blind? For faith calls us to see with the human heart. May God bless all of you. Go Bears, beat the Commanders this weekend. Go Eagles, go Birds, beat the Jets. Amen.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved and set me free. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind